Most pleasing Lord, be great.
Anthony Fisher.
My first poem, Londinium, and I hate poeming John Headley, but I've done it before. But my first poem, Londinium, began by reflecting my wonder that all of London's archaeology is just a few metres deep, cupped between the mark of Boudicca's revenge and where we walk today. As I wrote, I thought of how London, built by the Romans, has always been people from everywhere, whose great strength and vitality lie in this. Londinium. Put your ear to the ground, hear the shouts of rotten flesh, the clash of smith and wheelwright, twist and stretch of the rope maker. Your eyes will sting with the scent of wood smoke, run with a bite of ammonia from fetid urine. Long below all this runs the mark of Boudicca's revenge, in the thin red slice of burnt iron, splitting a line of ashen clay, layered in the stones and tiles, wood, old fires and bones. Now squeezed by north and south within its mud-soft lined canal, the river once nurtured Neanderthal, Homo sapiens, lonely itinerants drifting by for 500,000 years. The first hut, 15,000 years ago, now a city of a myriad tongues that adopts all who come. Hunter, farmer, the dispossessed. This poem-a-thon is dedicated to raising money for a family for a run. It's a great project and idea, Maggie, and thank you for the opportunity to be one of the poets. Long ago, between the Tigris and Euphrates in what is now southern Iraq, was the land of Sumer, and here in about 2600 BCE the first poet was writing. We know her name as she signed her work, by the hand of Edmona, high priestess of the Temple of Uru. Using a reed style as she impressed her poems into tablets of damp clay from the first writing, cuneiform script. There were schools and libraries all over Sumer, and all manner of tablets survive to this day. One of her long poems concerns the courtship of the great goddess Inanna and the demigod Dumuzi. It is an allegory of how the shepherds and farmers, represented by Dumuzi, gained ascendancy over the nomadic hunters. So began civilization and the slow decline of the gods. Here is a short extract from this long poem. It will be followed by one of mine. Inanna called for the bed. Let the bed that rejoices the heart be prepared. Let the bed that sweetens the loins be prepared. Let the bed of kingship be prepared. Let the bed of queenship be prepared. Let the royal bed be prepared. Inanna spread the bridal sheet across the bed. She called to the king, the bed is ready. She called to her bridegroom, the bed is waiting. She put his hand in her hand. He put his hand to her heart. Sweet is the sleep of hand to hand. Sweeter still the sleep of heart to heart. When there were gods. When Enfield was the god of the great space between earth and heaven, like a wild bull, he thrust into the mountain of the east, and she delivered herself of summer and winter, like rich green. When Enki ruled the deep sweet water between earth and below, like a rampant bull, he went between the two rivers, seeded the Tigris and Euphrates with sparkling water. Tanks lift their barrels, destroy what they see, what they can't see, crush a million tablets, powdering poetry, killing history. I pray for Enlil to once again rule between earth and below. I pray for Enki to once again rule between earth and below. I pray for the wild bulls to return, for summer and winter to be again delivered the sweet honey and rich cream. 200,000 years ago in East Africa, a gene mutated in Homo sapiens. This allowed individuals to segment streams of sound, that is to say, identify individual words, and so speech was born. This was fully embedded, it is thought, about 50,000 years ago, when there was a blossoming of fine hand axes, ritual, and decoration, all of which requires good communication. In the beginning. It must have been wonderful, the first word, the first, I love you, the starburst of ritual, colour, fine flint knives. Then for 200 millennia, thoughts had all lived in the air until they were pressed into wet clay, pinned by reed pens to cuneiform. I can read Inanna now, 5,000 years later. She commanded her lover, in battle, I am your leader. In combat, your armor-bearer. They still exist. I can touch them, hold them in my hand. Sense Inanna born in a rush of wind, carried in an intense flush of passion. She will never die. My poetry suffers her. Thank you.